All right, here we go. The High Rollers taking that Ron Tonkin jammer line. Guns N' Rollers pinning them back, and Raven Mad pushing up the outside. Lead jammer, Raven Mad. And that's number 2, Avalanche. By far, statistically, one of the best jammers in the league, pushing forward, and she's getting some help from Harry Carey. As she bridges that pack, Avalanche still not able to push forward enough. And that's Rogue One there, just giving her heck.
Avalanche up at the front of the pack against a solid wall of black, but we've got number 7, Harikari, coming in trying to break it up.
And that's
Avalanche.
First penalty of the game. Guns N' Rollers in the box. That's Juvie Hall. And trying to call off that jam just a bit too late. Avalanche sneaks in and puts up 4 points. Guns N' Rollers come up short with 3 to start this jam off, Mistress.
All right, and it looks like we have got lining up for the Guns N' Rollers. That would be DZ up against Felice Brutality for the High Rollers.
All right. High Rollers fans love seeing Brute back out on the line, but DZ, heck of a jammer, so fast. Pushing forward around the outside, but Envy Adams is there to cover that lane and many others. Lead jammer, Felice Brutality.
DZ now looking to get through the front, gets around Rita Manuel as she's now through on her initial pass.
Great skating by DZ there, able to avoid a big hit from Rita Manuel. And 4 more points for the High Rollers as they pull ahead, 3-8.
Bad Wolf lining up here for the ladies in green, taking on, I believe that is Erin Ishii.
Yes, and Erin Ishii has had a heck of a season. She has the most points in a single jam in the history of the league at 37 points, and it was against the High Rollers.
Wow, that is amazing. And we've got Bad Wolf pushing up against the front wall of back. Here comes number 7, Harry Carey, to break it up and now bridging.
Erin Ishii, probably the most polite jammer you'll ever meet, pointing her number to the ref. She's going to go to the penalty box for a cut track, making this a lead jam and a power jam for one Bad Wolf.
Bad Wolf now working on getting through that pack, zigzagging across. She's got a solid triangle defense to get around here.
Pushing forward, they have to stay within proximity. That's 10 feet. And you see that Whip It Good bridge those 2 packs together. 5 points up on the board for Bad Wolf.
The pack at a standstill here. Harikari trying to get up there to make some room for Bad Wolf to get through.
Intense blocking up front by the Guns N' Rollers. You see Juke Nukem holding down. She's bracing a 2-all. They form a perfect tripod. Harky comes in to try and play some offense. She cannot move Juke. Juke is assisted there by Juvie Hall, but the strength of Bad Wolf gets her through for 5 big ones.
Erin Ishii also now out on her initial pass as Bad Wolf is coming around and looking for more points.
And at the end of that, 1 more point being added to the Guns N' Rollers. 12 points there for the High Rollers as they pull ahead 4-20.
Hey, let's say thanks to our league sponsors, the Portland Mercury, Portland Vital Signs, City Graphics, and the delicious, as always, K's Bar.
We've got You're Gonna Be Sorry here jamming up against number 28. That's Minstrel Psycho.
You're Gonna Be Sorry jamming for Guns N' Rollers. Nobby pushing forward. 1 more to beat. Rita Manuel is there. Spocker is there. Envy Adams almost hits her out of play. She's clean, though, and lead jammer going to Nobby.
You're Gonna Be Sorry now looking for points here, trying to get around the likes of Envy Adams and Rita Manuel. Shaolin Spocker in there, as well as Bashanisa trying to hold her back.
And that's Minstrel Psycho just trying to get some purchase on the track, but she is not able to get through. That's Artemis Foulmouth reinforcing their wall. And still yet to complete her initial pass. There she goes. And Nabi through for another scoring pass. 4 points up on the board. That's a 9-point jam for the Guns and Rollers. We have a game 13-20. High Rollers leading with 24 minutes remaining.
Hey, the magic is in the hole. The Voodoo Donut, proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers and the Wheels of Justice.
Never heard of them.
We've got Avalanche here on the line for the High Rollers, taking on Raven Mad for the Guns and Rollers.
And with the High Rollers holding that front line, they're able to have Avalanche just jump through for lead jammer. Raven Mad, not to be outdone, blows through that wall of Harry Carey and Iron Meg. Avalanche gets forced to the outside by Blood Claudia with the assistance of Juvie Hall, protecting a point there. That's 3 points for the High Rollers. And we have a 10-point game.
Hey, let's say thanks to Left Turn Clothing. Left Turn Clothing, where fashion meets function.
Oh, we've got Felice Brutality here on the line, taking on DZ with an empty penalty box. Everyone here for the party.
Really slow moving pack. Quick lead jammer there for DZ. Big blocking from Roller Eclipse to prevent Felice Brutality from getting out. She's now completed her initial pass around the outside. DZ with a quick feet, gets all of her feet inbound and collects 4 points.
You know who loves roller derby?
Besides all of us?
Besides all of us, it's Kelly Brown.
Of course.
Kelly Brown loves roller derby, and we love Kelly Brown.
Careful, you're overseeing we've got, and it looks like those words. We've got. Now on the line is Bad Wolf jamming for the girls in green. Up against Aaron Ishii, up around the outside. It's Bad Wolf, lead jammer. Quick moving pack around turns 1 and 2 here. Iron Meg recycling to the front to await Aaron Ishii's arrival, and she gets forced out by Harry Carey.
Bad Wolf up at the front, trying to get around on the outside lane, pushing against that solid 3 wall there at the front. Juvie Hall trying to bridge.
Cut track now being assessed on Aaron Ishii, lead jam and power jam. Once again for Bad Wolf. That was a cut track on Aaron Ishii. And pushing forward, but Bad Wolf's got to deal with really strong blockers here. Juke Nukem is there, getting reinforcement from Blood Claudia. Juvie Hall on the inside line, and the High Rollers have one in the penalty box, so they can't afford to play much offense. So they await the arrival of Aaron Ishii, and they are very careful to stay in play.
Yeah, Blood Claudia doing an excellent job of just keeping that wall stopped, running some time off of that power jam.
Fantastic offense being played here by Rogue One, clearing Bad Wolf through the pack. Great penalty kill, though, by the Guns and Rollers.
And here comes Bad Wolf getting through the pack, picking up points and calling it off, but 1 point for Guns N' Rollers there as well.
Hey, let's say thanks to Compassion Arts PDX. Thanks to Hamid Bennett at Compassion Arts PDX, proud sponsor of your Guns and Rollers.
Ayo gonna be sorry lining up here for the Guns N' Rollers up against number 28, Minstrel Psycho for the High Rollers.
One blocker down for the High Rollers, 4-3 pack advantage. Nabi just trying to battle her way behind Envy Adams. buys time for Minstrel Psycho to be lead jammer for the High Rollers. Once again, Nobby just going for it against Envy Adams, finds a hole in the inside line and clears her initial pass. Envy Adams giving Psycho a big whip just for the hell of it. And that's 4 points for Psycho. She's trying to milk the time that Harry Carey is in the penalty box. She's standing, which means she has less than 10 seconds. By now, she probably has only 2 or 3 seconds left in her penalty.
Hey, let's say thanks to Black Cat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company and a proud partner of RCR since 2009.
Raven Mad here on the line for the Guns N' Rollers up against Avalanche for the High Rollers.
Up the inside line, Raven Mad trying to get it. Iron Meg slows her down, but she's able to hang on for lead jammer. Avalanche, one more to beat, manages to stay in bounds on her feet. Very capable athlete. And Raven Mad's going to call that one off. She picks up 1 point for her efforts, but more importantly, no points for the High Rollers, that jam.
Hey, let's say thanks to Red Fox Vintage. Find your retro at the Fox.
Police Brutality lining up here against DZ.
And Brute starting on the outside, DZ deep in the wall of the High Rollers. You see them going all defense. DZ meets the High Rollers at the front of the pack. Police Brutality picks up lead jammer on the inside apex. DZ again faces Envy Adams in Rogue One as well as Bashionista. Bounces right off of him like a pinball machine mouth and comes through. Happy with her points, calls that one off.
Nice job by Rita Manuel getting up there and breaking up that wall so her jammer can find a way through.
And let's say thanks to Tonkin.com. The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com.
Bad Wolf on the line here for the High Rollers, taking on Aaron Ishii for the Guns N' Rollers.
At the front of the pack, Kingdom Hearts bracing that wall of Iron Meg, Spocker, and Harikari. Pushing, just trying to find a place where there's weakness in that wall. You see Aaron Ishii just getting swept to the outside by Iron Meg. Bit of a spill on the apex. Bad Wolf pushing forward, one more to beat, and Juke Nukem. Juke's out of play, does get the penalty. And she's going to take a lap to that penalty box. Aaron Ishii completes her initial pass. Here comes Bad Wolf around the outside. Looks to Coach Demolition Man, calls that one off, and this is going to start with a big advantage for the High Rollers in the next jam. Dalla, what you got?
Hey, we want to say thanks to Franz Bakery. Franz has been proudly baking in Portland since 1906. And we'll see him at halftime for the famous Franz bread toss.
Hey, oh, gonna be sorry on the line for the Guns N' Rollers, taking on number 28. That's Minstrel Psycho for the High Rollers. And we have a timeout.
And that's right, this is a Magic Pony Power Hour Music Minute. Agent Meow, you know what you're doing, man.
About not saying we've got every time. Yeah, I cut it.
I do it all the time. Yeah, you.
I get into it.
Yeah, we all do.
It used to be the word and now I go back to that.
back to the action here. Again, we've got Minstrel Psycho on the line up against Yo Gonna Be Sorry.
And look what we have here. It's just a 3-2 pack advantage. You see the Guns N' Rollers starting at the top, so there's no pack, no blocking. Now that they're within 10 feet, they're allowed to make contact. Unfortunately, not effective for the Guns N' Rollers who ran this play. Lead jammer going to Minstrel Psycho. All right, around the outside, using that pack advantage, making it look easy. Hint, it's not.
Yo Gonna Be Sorry gets around Rogue One and Envy Adams, and now is through on her initial pass as Minstrel Psycho is working on points, but calls off the jam.
All right, no points for GNR on that second pass. 3 more for the High Rollers as they pull ahead. Score now 20-58. We're only through the first quarter of this game. Guns N' Rollers fans, where are you at? I don't know. These are some butt rocking badass babes. You might have to do better than that. Guns N' Rollers fans, where are you at?
Make some noise.
There it is.
Raven Mad here jamming for Guns N' Rollers up against Avalanche for the High Rollers, and Avalanche gets around Hound of the Badass Skervilles, picks up lead jammer for the ladies in green.
Slow moving pack. They haven't even gotten through turn 1. Big contact, jammer to jammer. That's Raven Mad and Avalanche. Avalanche through. She puts up 5 points. That's a natural grand slam. Raven Mad now completing her pass. Clean apex jump. Juke couldn't get there quite in time. So 9-point jam for the High Rollers. Dalla, take it away.
Viva la King and Viva la Aardvark!
We like our hot sauce around here.
Secret Aardvark Trading Company, world flavors produced locally.
Damn right.
You might be seeing a lot of Juke Nukem on the track tonight. She does have the highest playing percentage of any skater in the league.
And we've got Felice Brutality up against DZ here. Felice Brutality pushed to the outside, going to the back of the pack.
DZ pushing forward, trying to get some help from Vava Boom. But Rogue One is there with Spocker, and wow, DZ went through the bottom of that hole. Lead jammer going to the Guns N' Rollers here.
Get low.
Big pickup speed here, however, by Felice Brutality, sprinting around that track. DZ, smart enough to know as soon as you hit that wall, you got to call that one off. And you know what? She gets 2 points for her efforts. Very smart play by DZ and the Guns N' Rollers.
Hey, Sock It To Me. Unleash your inner superhero at sockittome.com. And you'll want to get a ticket for tonight's raffle. 6 pairs of Sock It To Me socks, part of that massive package worth $1,000.
That's one for every day of the week that I wear socks.
I'm way beyond sock season right now. We've got Aaron Ishii jamming up against Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf picking up lead jammer for the High Rollers. Aaron Ishii having a tough time getting around Rita Manuel.
Yeah, she's pinned between Rita Manuel and Harry Carey. Nowhere to go. Get some assistance from the Guns N' Rollers blocking crew.
Aaron Ishii now out of the pack as Bad Wolf is looking for more points. She picks up her points and calls off the jam.
Great blocking there by McGillicuddy and Rita Manuel. Was a 9-point jam for the High Rollers. A little over 12 minutes remaining in this first period.
Minstrel Psycho lining up here for the High Rollers up against Yo Gonna Be Sorry for the Guns N' Rollers.
High Rollers are down Iron Meg in the penalty box for a few more moments. Now, right around the outside, Yo Gonna Be Sorry. Psycho picks up some momentum, hits the back of that Guns N' Rollers wall.
Juke Nukem setting up a wall to try to slow down Minstrel Psycho. You Gotta Be Sorry, picking up 5 more points in the process.
Wow, and Psycho just hanging on for dear life. Big force out there by Juke Nukem. And whip it good. And again, devastating hit by Juke Nukem on Psycho, but she shakes that off.
Envy Adams opening up a lane on the outside for Minstrel Psycho to get through.
Nobby keeping her eyes on her coach, trying to kill time in the penalty box, calls that jam off, puts up 3 more points. You're gonna be sorry with a 13-point jam.
Let's say thanks to Piranha Portland. Piranha, clothing for people who live fully, play long, and travel well.
Raven Mad here on the line to go up against Avalanche. 3-on-4 pack advantage to the High Rollers.
One down in the penalty box for Guns and Rollers, but Raven Mad don't care. She's the lead jammer. Starts to pick up some speed here, and that's DZ, jack of all trades, with the big force out on Avalanche, buying some time for Raven to get an extra scoring pass in here.
Both jammers now trying to shove their way through the pack, and Avalanche gets up through the pack on her initial pass. Raven Mad still working on points. And
Raven Mad sneaks through, puts up 5 big points. And Guns and Rollers just had a 13-point jam. Now they've had a 5-point jam. Excellent time for a team timeout by the High Rollers to slow down this momentum shift in favor of the Guns and Rollers.
Hey. What's that? I'll get to it. That's the neck. That's neck.
If you're watching live at home, we want to give a big thank you to Blaze Streaming Media, our partners in all things broadcast. All right, we're back to it. Clear penalty box.
Aaron Ishii taking on Felice Brutality here.
And Brute trying for that outside line, gets shut down by Juke Nukem. And penalty being assessed on the Guns and Rollers Juvie Hall. But they are still containing Felice Brutality. She does a few shakes of the hips and picks up lead jammer here.
Arikari and Rogue One is shutting down Aaron Ishii. Felice Brutality here picking up points, picks up 5.
In a foot race here, Brute wants a few more points, sneaks around the outside and calls that one off. 2 more points, excellent skating from Felice Brutality. 40 points for GNR, 84 for the High Rollers.
Hey, this is just the beginning of a great month of June. Tonight's not the end of the season for Rose City. The 24th, our Wreckers square off against the Siskiyous Roller Girls. And then on Saturday night, it's the Wheels of Justice taking on the Bridgetown Menace right here at the hangar at Oaks Park.
Jamming now is Bad Wolf for the High Rollers, DZ for Guns and Rollers. DZ, multifaceted skater, there she goes. Barely grabbing lead, jammer in front of Bad Wolf. Very fast moving pack here. High Rollers staying together, picking up the speed since DZ is out front. And because DZ does not want her team to get scored on, she is forced to call that off. And that was excellent strategy there by the High Rollers.
Let's say thanks to Upswept Creative, not your average branding agency, Upswept Creative.
Minstrel Psycho on the line here for the High Rollers, taking on You're Gonna Be Sorry.
Nobby pushing forward. Iron Meg is there. Moves to the inside line. Rogue One shuts her down. Iron Meg still right on top of her. But there goes Minstrel Psycho right out the front. Pushes 20 feet, picks up lead jammer. But she can't exactly be casual about it because Nobby is on her scoring pass as well. And again, we see that a jammer is forced to call it off because the opposing team is in the back, ready to be scored on. So very defensive last couple of jams here. And skating now, Avalanche. Avalanche has scored 103 points in a game before. That's like a lot of points.
That is indeed a lot of points.
She'll be facing up with Raven Mad, number 53 for the Guns N' Rollers. Avalanche pushes forward, inserts herself into the tripod of Roller Eclipse, and Vava Boom and gets through. Lead jammer. Nope, just kidding. Forearm penalty on Avalanche. That makes Raven mad. Lead jammer for the Guns N' Rollers. The Guns N' Rollers take Rita Manuel in the rear of the pack, goat her, but Raven Mad gets forced out and they recycle around, and the High Rollers are again able to reform their tripod.
Envy Adams gets just enough of a piece of her to send her out of bounds and run her to the back.
And Juke says hello to Envy, and Envy is smiling about it. Oh, unfortunately, Envy is going to pick up a misconduct penalty for that contact.
It's the other way to roll. Call a cab from Radio Cab today. But before you do, buy a raffle ticket. Boy, two great items tonight. A bike worth over $700. You saw it being ridden around. And a $1,000 raffle basket with a huge Timbers package.
Aaron Ishii jamming, pushing forward for the Guns N' Rollers. They're almost 10 feet out. But that blur across the track and across your screens at home was Felice Brutality. Lead jammer for the High Rollers. Already just goes right into their four wall, picks up 2 points the second she makes contact with them. They get her out of bounds, but now they're out of play. And she will pick up all 4 points, 5 points, because they were out of play, and she earned those points fair and square. Aaron Ishii looking for some help here. Slower moving pack. She makes it right on through. Spocker, Iron Meg, and Envy Adams setting up to play offense. And Felice Brutality will call that one off.
Hey, pick up a Fat Tire Ale or Ranger IPA from New Belgium Brewing Company right down there at concessions. It's a perfect night for one.
And an official review will be called. Okay. All right, so the coach of the Guns N' Rollers, Mater Mad, has strong feelings about something that occurred in the previous jam. They will discuss it with the officials, review it, and potentially that may change the outcome of the previous jam. We will send Mistress Mouth down to find out what's going on, and we'll be back with you momentarily.
In the meantime, grab a Two Towns cider. Damn fine cider made right here in the Pacific Northwest.
All right, so Guns N' Rollers is calling for, it wants to review the lack of a cut track penalty being called on the green jammer. The black blocker was out of play. There will be no cut track, and the Guns N' Rollers will lose their official review.
All right, so the call will stand. And that's okay. There's only a few minutes left. You get one official review per half. Bad Wolf now jamming for the High Rollers up against Nobby. And it is Bad Wolf, lead jammer, Nobby Lapser, managing to get a better position. Both jammers ready to score some points. The Guns N' Rollers are in the back. That one gets called off. Null jam 0-0. The score stands at 44-99.
Hey, PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Bad Girls, Good Beer. Also available at concessions tonight. Lots of options.
Minstrel Psycho jamming again now for the High Rollers up against number 53, Raven Mad. Less than 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Slow moving forward, Raven Mad getting some help from Blood Claudia. Gets that pack move real forward. Out of play in the back, they have to reset. And that's Raven Mad, lead jammer for the Guns N' Rollers. Raven Mad hits that pack, already has picked up a couple points, but gets recycled to the inside boundary. Minstrel Psycho also getting recycled. She hits that outside lane. Juke Nukem is there, which means that lane is not available to her. And Psycho around the outside, team blocking there by Artemis Foulmouth and Blood Claudia. So Minstrel Psycho has completed her initial pass. Raven Mad picks up some points, a number of points, in fact, that total this number of 5.
Coming soon, halftime, great crowd contest, Franz bread toss, and a massive raffle.
Opa.
Get your tickets, 1 for $1, 10 for $5, 20 for your height.
Last minute adjustment to the jammer rotation for the Guns N' Rollers. Nobby back out on the track, finds the inside line. Lead jammer, Guns N' Rollers. Cut track now being assessed. That's Van Helslinger, captain of the Guns N' Rollers. Nobby hangs on with 1 foot. Natural grand slam for the Guns N' Rollers.
Avalanche up at the front of the pack. It gets around Roller Eclipse, and she's now through on her initial pass.
Nobby, 1 more to beat, but it's Envy Adams, so she calls it off. 3 more points, that's an 8-point jam for the Guns N' Rollers. Very low scoring game overall, usually by halftime or somewhere in the low 100s at least. This looks like it may be the last jam of this period. High Rollers choosing to play up on the pivot line. Guns and Rollers pushing forward to stay in play. Felice Brutality now jamming for the girls in green. Lots of movement, moving her feet to the inside, but that lane is thoroughly closed. She moves to the outside. Excellent blocking there. That's Whip It Good. Just killed 20 seconds off of that clock, but Felice Brutality's lead jammer.
Erin Ishii getting pushed out of bounds by
Wow, Felice Brutality right around the outside, just like old times, picking up 5 more points. And the height on that apex jump, she managed to get over Whip It Good and Juke Nukem.
We've got a star pass over to Juke Nukem from Erin Ishii.
Excellent. All right, High Rollers fans, I know you've been waiting for it, so give it up for the High Rollers. 30 minutes of roller derby left to play in the 2016 Rose City Rollers Championship. The sun has gone down.
But it just keeps on getting hotter, doesn't it?
And let the action begin. Avalanche now jamming for the High Rollers up against number 53, Raven Mad. Quick moving pack across the pivot line around turn 1. Multiplayer call being made against Blood Claudia and lead jammer Avalanche. Raven Mad blocked to the inside, tries to take a hole on the outside. So much offense being played for her that Avalanche is able to sneak through for a quick 5-point pass.
Raven Mad still working to push up against that solid wall of green. Avalanche getting pushed to the inside, eating a little inside track there, gets right back up.
Yeah, that was a big hit there by Erin Ishii. And Iron Meg loves the environment. She is recycling Raven Mad again. Avalanche through for another 5 points, 10 so far this jam. Raven Mad goes in, drops to her knees, up like a flash of lightning, and she is through, completes her initial pass. Avalanche around the outside, has one more to meet, and Blood Claudia around the outside calls that bad boy off. And that's a 15-point jam for Avalanche and the High Rollers.
Yes, let's say thanks to Oaks Amusement Park, home of the Rose City Rollers, and the place to purchase your derby gear.
DZ lining up here for the Guns N' Rollers, taking on Felice Brutality for the High Rollers.
Full packs for each team. And DZ is going to pick up a back block. I thought so. She knows. Heading to the penalty box. And also Felice Brutality headed to the penalty box for a forearm penalty. So no lead jammer this jam mouth, and it's a full 2-minute jam.
High Rollers setting up a wall in the back here, being driven by Bashtonista.
Felice Brutality trying to push up the inside. Meanwhile, that flash of light in the corner of your eye was DZ completing her initial pass. And here goes Brute completing hers as well. DZ hits Rita Manuel. Coming to the outside, clears her first pass, and that's going to be 4 points for the Guns N' Rollers.
Felice Brutality now getting around out of the front of the pack for 4 of her own. DZ right around on the outside for another 4 for the Guns N' Rollers.
And coming around once again, DZ hits the rear of that pack. Brute mixed up behind Roller Eclipse and Erin Ishii, the pivot. 4 points apiece. They're just trading off. DZ in the lead here around the outside. And it looked like she attempted to call it off, but she's not the lead jammer, so the officials did her a favor by not calling it off, because if they had, she'd be going to the penalty box.
She gets around Envy Adams, and there is 4 more points for the Guns N' Rollers. Felice Brutality looking for some points here as well.
Well, Guns N' Rollers able to, block one extra lap here. So DZ out on top. Well, the end of an exhausting jam. A full 2-minute jam there, 20 points on the board for Guns N' Rollers, 16 for the High Rollers for a 4-point differential.
Hey, let's say thanks to the Nightlight Lounge. Nightlight Lounge, RCR's favorite Clinton Street bar and the only place to get RCR tickets in town.
Here we've got Bad Wolf lining up against You're Gonna Be Sorry.
Blocker down a piece for each team. Nobby pushing up against those High Rollers blockers. King Doom Hearts giving her hell. Buying time for Bad Wolf to be lead jammer. And there goes Nobby clearing the pack out front of Harikari.
And here comes Bad Wolf looking for points. Walking through on the outside lane, picking up her points, picking up 4, calling off the jam.
Don't forget tonight's after party at O'Malley's on Southeast Foster. It's going to be a fun dance time with DJ Daniel Slay Lewis.
We've got Juke Nukem lining up here for the Guns N' Rollers.
Why not?
Why not?
And
Taking on Minstrel Psycho for the High Rollers.
Juke finds her way, barrels through the outside, finds her hole on the end. Lead jammer for Juke Nukem. Minstrel Cycle clears the pack. High Rollers take that back boundary. Change of direction there for Juke. She may have picked up a solo point. 2 points for the Guns N' Rollers. They pull up to 79.
Nice stop there by Envy Adams, forcing the call off there.
Newer blocker to the High Rollers. Mayday joins the lineup with Spocker, Kingdom Hearts, and Harikari.
Raven Mad up against Avalanche here.
Slow moving pack. Raven Mad makes contact with Avalanche. They both race forward. Avalanche has 1 more to beat. She makes it out alive. Lead jammer Avalanche.
Raven Mad now regrouping and going around on the outside. Through on her initial pass, and Avalanche picking up a cut track on her scoring pass. That's going to put Raven Mad in a power jam.
Yeah, back block there. And big hit, that's Mayday with the contact. She does pick up a forearm for her efforts. And the High Rollers heavy in the sin bin this jam. 4-3 advantage, or 3-2 advantage rather.
Raven Mad gets around Kingdom Hearts, picking up 5 more points for the Guns N' Rollers.
As Spocker returns to the track, you can see her with eyes in the back of her head trying to track Raven Mad's every movement. High Rollers, great job of reforming at the front of the pack. Holy cow, have you seen Spocker's skates? Those are so cool. Back to the action, Avalanche pushing forward. Van Helsing are pulling back to bridge the pack. 4 more points for Avalanche. Raven Mad pushing forward. Again, no lead jammer. You could just see her jam ref shaking his head. No. Avalanche stays up on her feet, trusts her instincts, and stands up. Her instincts were correct. That's another 5 points for Avalanche.
Nice job taking her time there to make sure she doesn't pick up that penalty.
Slow moving pack. You can hear Coach Demo giving her instructions. It's the end of that jam. Woo! These 2-minute jams are killers for these blockers. These poor jammers have to skate fast. What's that about? Dalla, what you got?
808. Food so good, it straight broke the mouth.
DZ here to jam for the Guns N' Rollers, taking on Felice Brutality for the High Rollers.
Have an official timeout, which makes that a taco timeout.
Porque no.
Porque yes.
That's right.
All right, it looks like that was just a bit of a points clarification. We're back to the derby here. Guns N' Rollers now at 89, High Rollers 159. Over 21 minutes remaining in this game. This championship bout, up to a quick lead is Felice Brutality.
DZ getting a run to the back here.
Oh, DZ picking up a low block penalty, heading to the penalty box. Power jam for Felice Brutality. Bad news for the Guns N' Rollers. High Rollers pull back. They try to go Aaron Ishii. Aaron Ishii picks up a penalty. 2 now in the box for the Guns N' Rollers. Brute able to step right around, clear that pack for 5 points, 10 points so far.
Guns N' Rollers setting up that line, trying to shut down Felice Brutality. We've got Blood Claudia trying to push her to the inside. Juke Nukem in there as well as Roller Eclipse.
And DZ maintaining control, completes her initial pass. And that jam is called. 4 more points. That's a 14-point jam for Felice Brutality.
Hey, let's say thanks to CrossFit Magnus, official fitness partner of the Wheels of Justice.
Less than 20 minutes remaining in this game. This is the 7th jam of this period. Bad Wolf out to an early lead for the High Rollers. You're gonna be sorry now jamming. She gets forced out by Iron Meg, who quickly reforms with her tripod with McGillicuddy and Harikari. And Nabi forcing out Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf recycling to the rear of that pack. Spocker dropping back to play offense, trying to break up that wall. Va boom.
Navi getting around, working to get around Iron Meg there. Now she is through on her initial pass. Bad Wolf working on points, gets around the front.
Excellent balance maintained there by Bad Wolf. Finishes off with 4 points there for the High Rollers.
Hey, we're going to say thanks to OHSU Sports Medicine, proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers.
And that's Raven Mad lining up again against Minstrel Psycho. Psycho takes a few strides back to build up some power. And right off the bat, a forearm being assessed on her in lead jammer status, going to Raven Mad and the Guns and Rollers.
Nice job by Juke Nukem getting up in there and clearing that path for Raven Mad to break through.
Again, Juke trying to clear the way. Envy Adams doing what Envy Adams does, knocks her to the ground on her knees, stays together with her teammates. Fashionista is there, holding it down in the front, reforming with Iron Meg and Envy Adams at the conclusion of that jam. And that's going to be 5 points on the board for the Guns and Rollers.
You know, I have to just say that wall of Envy Adams, Iron Meg, and Fashionista, that's just a terrifying wall. And they definitely get the job done.
Coach Wade running on the track, giving some last-minute instructions. And this power jam start, and that's an official timeout, of course.
Which makes it a taco timeout brought to you by Porque No.
It was a taquito timeout.
A
just
taquito timeout.
a little taco timeout.
All right, fair enough.
And there she goes. That's Juvie Hall now jamming for the Guns and Rollers. Starts to the outside, lets the Guns and Rollers sweep the entire inside of the track, but Hari Carey all over her. And great penalty kill by the High Rollers. Minstrel Psycho's back on the track, pushing forward. Vava Boom is there, and Blood Claudia.
Juvie Hall finally breaking through, a swing and a miss by Iron Meg, and she's through on her initial pass.
Offense, offense, offense. Even Psycho was surprised that lane became available to her. Great skating there. Dala.
Bike Punk. Bike Punk, locally printed, eco-friendly stickers, signs, and design. Visit bikepunk.com.
And that's Duke Nukem jamming once again for the Guns and Rollers. Avalanche pushing way out, picks up lead jammer around Roller Eclipse. Juke having trouble. Rita Manuel in her lane all over her, but she's able to shake her off and complete her initial pass. And a back block penalty now being called on Avalanche. So while Juke is not the lead jammer, she has a power jam here and full blocking contingent to assist her. And that's 5 points for Juke Nukem. Juke asking for them to attack, get that pack speed moving.
Roller Eclipse jumping up there, trying to break up that wall of green.
Wow. Just never stops moving forward. She threw her own blocker onto the ground and then barreled her way football style through that pack. Another 5 points for Juke Nukem. Avalanche sees the light of day on the outside and clears her fast. But Juke is there, 4 points apiece.
There's a swing and a miss there by Envy Adams trying to shut down Juke Nukem, but to no avail.
Again, no lead jammer. This will go the full 2 minutes, the bane of every jammer's existence. Juke around the outside, trying to get slowed down by Envy Adams and Rita Manuel. Every time Juke turns her body, it makes it so hard to maintain contact. Envy gets the force out just before the out of play mark, and unfortunately, in the back of the pack, a low block being assessed on Avalanche, making this another power jam in favor of the Guns and Rollers. The clock will tick down here, and Guns and Rollers will start with a power jam advantage.
Some feathered derby fans in the house.
They like Bernie Sanders, and they also like The Rose City Rollers, apparently, little birdies.
Hey, let's say thanks to Olivia Brown. Had a great group here this evening. Hope you had a great time. Thanks, Olivia Brown, for supporting RCR. And you got to just put a bird on it.
I want to give a very special shout out. I know it's the end of the home team season. None of this could happen without our league leadership. And I want to give a big shout out to our staff. Our administrative assistant, Punch Rocker, our development manager, Jody Bonjodi, our volunteer manager, Helvetica, and especially our events director, Nami Bigos, and our executive director and marketing committee head, Rocket Mean. Thank you so much for everything you do. We really love and appreciate you.
Buy that Rocket Mean a beer.
They paid me to say that.
Well, they got their money's worth. Here we've got You Gonna Be Sorry on the line to start off this power jam for the Guns and Rollers. Avalanche still hanging out over in that Pabst Blue Ribbon penalty box. Back very fast off the line here, but Nabi trying to bounce her way through that pack.
Excellent footwork by Nabi. It looks like she's running forward, but she's juking backwards. But Iron Meg and Kingdom Hearts, along with Spocker, they're blocking 360 degrees while moving forward. Very advanced blocking skills by all three of these blockers here. And now Harikari has joined them. Kingdom Hearts bracing them, bridging them forward. And Avalanche has returned to the track. Textbook jammer or power jam kill by the High Rollers. And here comes Avalanche lead. Jammer hot out of the penalty box. Avalanche hits that wall really hard, but it's all legal contact. A whistle has been blown. Some clarifications on the track. 2 blockers going down for the Guns and Rollers. So now a 4-2 pack advantage for the High Rollers. Avalanche took some hard contact. And here comes Coach Mater with the very theatrical official review. What is this song? I love this.
While they're talking it over, let's say thanks to Ellison Advertising, your direct source for customized apparel, print, and promotion.
All right, so the Guns and Rollers are calling for a back block penalty to be called on the High Rollers jammer from the last jam. All right, the word is the black blocker initiated the block, so the no call will stand.
All right, so the Guns and Rollers have now used their penalty review for the second period, but they still have 2 timeouts remaining. That's Felice Brutality now jamming for the High Rollers with the speed out front. Has to beat Aaron Ishii and Juke Nukem. Raven Mad now jamming a lead. Jammer. And even better news for the Guns and Rollers. Felice Brutality in the penalty box. Believe that was a low block. Raven Mad now in the mix of a 4-wall. Guns and Rollers, 2 of them come out of the penalty box at the same time. Rita Manuel now reporting to the penalty box. And Raven Mad doing the dance on the inside track boundary, but Bashanisa is there now. Mayday and Envy Adams. Wow, excellent blocking by both of them. They have to let her go. And Brute already returning from the penalty box, back in the action, trying to find the outside lane. It's not there. That was Artemis Foulmouth with fantastic blocking for the Guns N' Rollers.
Felice Brutality up on her toe stops to run through the pack. And they see her coming. She calls off the jam.
Hey, that's a 9-point jam for the Guns N' Rollers. They crawl back into this game, 121-193, still over 11 minutes remaining.
Bad Wolf here lining up to take on number 419. That's Juvie Hall. Jamming for, I think, the first time this evening.
Juvie Hall around the outside. High Rollers down to only 2 blockers, but those blockers are Iron Meg and Harikari. Fava Boom comes in to play offense on Harikari. It's extremely effective. And there goes Juvie Hall, lead jammer for the Guns N' Rollers. Big hit there, my friends. Meet Iron Meg. Bad Wolf completes her initial pass. She is off to the races. Late call off there. High Rollers look to pick up 2 points to the Guns N' Rollers 3 points.
It's the Laurelhurst Theater and Pub, the best of modern cinema, independent art, and classic film for Portland's movie lovers.
And looked like the High Rollers tried to call a team timeout, but an official timeout has instead been utilized. Some administrative issues.
We have got some great bouts coming up later in June, and you're not going to want to miss out on the best seats in the house right down by the track there. The best seats in the house auction. Look for that for our next bouts coming up the 24th and 25th of June right here in the hangar.
DZ here on the line for Guns N' Rollers taking on Minstrel Psycho for the for the High Rollers.
4-2 pack advantage here for the High Rollers. Minstrel Psycho making it look easy quickly. Jammer status for her. DZ trying to find a lane, not available on the outside, and a blocking with a head penalty now assessed on DZ. That means she tried to enter that wall with her head first, and that's just dangerous. And there she goes. Minstrel Psycho finds a lane open on the outside, takes it, and she puts up 5 big points for the High Rollers. Big offense coming in here. That's number 237, Whip It Good. Trying to break up that wall best they can. Minstrel Psycho, 2 more to beat. She makes that through. That's another 5 points, 10-point jam so far for the High Rollers.
DZ now working on getting through the pack. She's through now on her initial.
Amazing speed skating form there. Rogue One now in the penalty box for the High Rollers. Minstrel Psycho happy with that. She puts up 11 more points for the High Rollers.
Hey, let's say thanks to all of our volunteers. Big shout out to all the volunteers who came tonight. You too can be part of the magic that is RCR. Visit rcr.com for volunteer opportunities. Sign up and get involved today.
Avalanche up against You're Gonna Be Sorry.
Nabi pushing up real We're up the middle of the track. Van Helslinger there to play some offense, and she gets tied up with Harry Carey in the madness. Wow, Nabi almost makes it through on one skate.
Give it another go, and she goes right up the middle, picking up lead jammer.
Last minute contact attempt by Guns N' Rollers, but Avalanche able to keep on skating. Lead jammer Nabi about to hit the pack. Calls that one off. Great play. The Guns N' Rollers had isolated Iron Meg. And ref takeout.
No extra points for taking down a ref. I'm sorry.
And the ref first apologizes to the fans in the audience, but you get what you pay for. The hoodlums sitting on the track. And that's why our officials wear full roller derby protection during the games. Jamming now, Raven Mad for Guns N' Rollers, and Brute once again for the High Rollers.
Hell of a hit there from Juke and Nukem on Felice Brutality.
And of course, Brute able to just dance right off of her. In the front, the High Rollers, fantastic defense, earning Felice Brutality lead jam status. Raven Mad takes a spill, and that's going to be a cut track penalty for Guns N' Rollers blocker. And Brute around the outside. 5 more points for the High Rollers. Up the inside, manages to evade Juke Nukem, but Blood Claudia and Vava Boom are there. 5 more points. Really slow moving pack now, stuck in turn 3. Brute again able to evade those Guns N' Rollers blockers. Juke Nukem now busy with the star cover. She is now the jammer. Makes big contact with Brute just for fun.
Hey,
You know what I always say? Why not?
smoke them if you got them. Well, that was beautiful. Team timeout being called here by the Guns N' Rollers.
And this timeout brought to you by the Layla SmackDown Music Minute.
That's right, lady. Bad Wolf lining up here for the High Rollers, taking on DZ for the Guns N' Rollers.
Little over 5 minutes remaining in this game. The points may look a little intimidating, but there's tons of action left. Who knows what Juke Nukem will do?
I suspect she's going to throw some blocks.
DZ starting on the line for Guns N' Rollers, pushes from the outside now to the in, and she does get the cut track. She hopped out really fast, but her feet made contact with the track boundary. Power jam and lead jammer status now to Bad Wolf and the High Rollers.
Bad Wolf having to work very hard for every inch of that advantage there.
Stuck in turn 2 out the straightaway of turn 3. Bad Wolf just pushing them forward, trying to get them out of 20 feet. Roller Eclipse is there with Hellslinger. Again, just dancing on that 20-foot out of play line. And she shakes him off.
DZ getting around the pack on the outside there, clears on her initial pass, and Bad Wolf looking for more points. Quickly through on the inside of the pack for 5 more for the High Rollers, and that's going to do it for that jam.
Another official timeout here. I just wish there was some sisterhood in the game of roller derby. The bad blood, it runs deep.
Well, you know, we've got a dance party here at the hangar, but you're going to carry that dance party on to O'Malley's at the after party featuring Daniel Slay Lewis.
It is a 21 and over event.
I
but
think
if
it
you have
is.
your ticket stub or your wristband, you get in for free. This official timeout is now turned into an official review. The High Rollers have chosen to utilize it. And as soon as we know what's going on, Mr. Smouth will update us. But until then, please enjoy the fine tunes of Agent Meow. I don't know, you're getting crazy. Maybe on my ride home on my scooter.
All right, so the High Rollers are contesting the penalty called on their player in the last jam, saying that the referee that called the penalty was out of position to call the penalty, and the referees that were in position did not call a penalty, so they are calling to have that penalty reversed. The call will stand. The forearm penalty will be retained.
All right, so the call stands, and we get to play roller derby for another 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Yo, gonna be sorry now, jamming for the Guns and Rollers. Bad Wolf jamming for the High Rollers, but she is in the penalty box to start off this jam. Nabi picking up lead jammer status. Envy Adams on her way to the penalty box, which already has Kingdom Hearts in it. And Nabi, 5 points. Shaking off Rogue One and Rita Manuel. Give it up for Yo Gonna Be Sorry. That's 10 points so far. Juke Nukem now in the penalty box being released. And wow, Nabi hanging on by a toe stop, stays in bounds, up the inside line. And that's another 5 points. 15-point jam for You're Gonna Be Sorry. Technically, I think DJ Agent Meow scored those points with his banging tunes, but that's just me. Minstrel Psycho now jamming for the High Rollers. She's going up against Raven Mad. Raven Mad, we have a micro pack, 2 blockers apiece for each team, and it's Minstrel Psycho that makes it out alive first. Quick moving pack. Skaters beginning to return to the track to reform their walls, and that's Minstrel Psycho. Erin Ishii is the only blocker on the track right now for the Guns and Rollers, so she alone will define the pack. Envy Adams now returning to the penalty box. Psycho again at the rear of the pack. Raven Mad looks like she picked up all her points, but did get blocked to the inside track boundary. Minstrel Psycho with 9 points so far. And Raven Mad clearing her pass. Puts up 4 points of her own. Excellent full body juking by Minstrel Psycho. And she will call off that jam happy with 13 points. With only 1:05 remaining, the Guns and Rollers will be utilizing their last timeout. Pulling out all the stops here. Thank you so much for joining us here at the hangar at Oaks Amusement Park. Immediately following this game will be a very exciting MVP ceremony and championship trophy award. Four to 3 pack advantage now for the Guns and Rollers. That's DZ jamming. DZ does pick up lead jammer. No pass, no penalty. That's a clean pass. She got lead jammer before that action occurred. And there goes DZ. 5 points for the Guns and Rollers. Time is ticking down, but DZ is in control of this jam. Avalanche on the track has completed her initial pass, and Coach Mater has her call it off. There may not be another jam if she didn't call it off in time. Looks like there will be time for one more jam. Yep, that's it. That is the game. There's no more time for another jam. Congratulations for the second year in a row, the High Rollers, Rose City League champions. Feel free to hop on the track. Give them a high five for all their hard work. Give it up.
There we go. Let's put your hands together for your High Rollers. What a home season, but the fun is just beginning. And now, let's put your hands together for your Guns and Rollers.
All right, it is that time. We are going to have the High Rollers line up on both sides here for the awarding of the medals. Please form a line on both sides of this lovely young lady.
All right, come on. Right in line. There we go.
2 years in a row.
You might want to remove your helmets.
All right. That's Rita Manuel, Rogue One, Fashionista, King Doom Hearts.
Mayday.
Give it up for Iron Meg, Shaolin Spocker,
Police Brutality. McGillicuddy.
Neurotic Nedra.
Venus to Mileage.
Minstrel Psycho. Envy Adams.
Bad Wolf. Tiggs.
Andy Oakley.
Death.
Hari Kari. Avalanche. Coaches Alicia Nesbitt Smith.
and
Demolition Man, and of course,
the King!
The King!
Viva la King!
your 2016 Home Team Champions!
Oh. All right. So we have a very special trophy presentation. For about 10 years now, it has been the Magic Pony Power Hour Trophy. Tonight, it is being retired. It's going to go in the trophy case. The High Rollers have retained it, and this year, they are the first winners of the Rob Lobster Memorial Trophy. Put your hands together for your High Rollers.
All right, now we are going to name our MVPs. So I need 2 representatives from the Guns N' Rollers, as well as 2 from the High Rollers. We need to crown our MVPs.
We still got a little business left. All right. Let's start with the MVP blocker tonight.
Our MVP blocker tonight is Juke Nukem.
Juke Nukem, MVP blocker.
All right. And your MVP jammer is
Yoga Nabisari.
Yoga Nabisari, your MVP jammer from GNR.
All right, Hellslinger, who do we have for MVP blocker?
Meg!
Iron Meg! And Juke Nukem, who do we have for... Oh, you have it. Okay. All right, Hellslinger, who do we have for MVP jammer?
Rudy!
Police Brutality!
All right, I think that concludes our business tonight here at the Hangar at Oaks Park. What a home season. Your 2016 champions, the High Rollers. We'll see you at the after party at O'Malley's on Foster. Thanks all. We'll see you soon.